Hey y'all, it's Jasmine, black girl therapist in the wild, LCSW. How y'all doing on this 80 million quadrillion day of quarantine and being inside the house? So, I did my face up for this video. Can y'all tell? Put some eyebrow stuff on, some skin tint, not some foundation, tint, cat hair on my face, and I came today to talk about schizophrenia. Figured why not? So yeah, stay tuned. Schizophrenia is considered a psychotic disorder coming along with erratic behaviors, hallucinations, so on and so forth. There are 5 symptoms of schizophrenia that you need to have for at least 6 months. You have to have at least one of the first 3 symptoms that I'm going to describe in order to be diagnosed with schizophrenia. Onset is usually between mid-teens and mid-30s. That's when we diagnose. Not that there haven't been other cases of younger kids exhibiting symptoms of schizophrenia, but we try to steer clear of diagnosing younger children with schizophrenia just because there's a lot of different variables when it comes to young children. They're very imaginative, so you know, you have to be very thorough when putting a heavy diagnosis on a young child. So the onset is usually, as far as diagnosing is concerned, mid-teens to mid-30s. So, some of the symptoms of schizophrenia are, when discussing the symptoms, I will be looking out of my handy dandy DSM-5, Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders. I don't know why I want to keep saying diagnostical. For some reason, it's weird. Whatever. So, first symptoms are whatever. Delusions. So, delusions are basically beliefs that we have that there's evidence to say that they are not true. But for some reason, we believe those things. You believe you're the queen of the world, or you believe that there are dinosaurs walking this earth still and you have to find them, So there are various different beliefs that can be proven to be wrong, but even when they're shown to the person that has schizophrenia, they don't believe them. They believe what they want. Not what they want, but what their brain chemicals have set them up to believe. So that's the first symptom. Second symptom of schizophrenia is hallucinations. So hallucinations can be visual, they can be auditory, so you hear things that no one else can hear, and they can be tactile. You feel things on your skin like bugs or tingly feelings or something like that. So, but no one else can see the things that you see. No one else can hear the things that you hear. And nobody can see the things crawling on your skin that you're saying is itching you or whatever. And that can be very difficult to have to deal with in a daily life. Hearing things while trying to get your work done, while trying to go to school, while trying to interact with anybody or anything, while these voices are talking and going on in your head, and especially if you're a young person and you've never heard of schizophrenia, it can be scary. And not even young, but just out of nowhere, this thing comes and you never really heard of schizophrenia, you don't know what it is. So it can be very uncomfortable to hear these things or see these things. And it's a spectrum, as far as the intensity of what you see and hear. It doesn't have to always be an extreme burst of everything all at once. It could just be, I see lines going around me, I hear a voice calling me sometimes. Or, I feel a tickle on my arm that feels like something's in there, but I don't know what it is, and the doctors say that there's nothing there. It could just be one thing at a time. It could be multiple things all at once in a burst of light and glory. And it can be very concerning for the person that has it and very hard to deal with. So, third symptom of schizophrenia is disorganized speech. So, you could be talking and all of a sudden the soup down the street told me that they were hungry, and so I made them pineapples to eat and they tasted delicious and they said all these magical things, and yeah, just disorganized. Your speech is going all different directions and you can't seem to help it. You know, you may realize it, you may not realize it. But the last two symptoms, let's talk about those. Fourth symptom of schizophrenia, as stated by my handy dandy DSM-5, is grossly disorganized or catatonic behaviors. So disorganized, silly, erratic, childlike behaviors for no reason, just odd behaviors that, you know, don't really make sense. Catatonic is more so of a bodily thing, where sometimes you have really stiff movements, or you might freeze into odd, you know, positions and things like that. It's your body stiffening up. So schizophrenia can involve, and you can see catatonic behaviors in other diagnoses like severe depression and things like that, mood disorders. But in other psychotic disorders, it's like weird movements, echolalia, where you're copying what other people say, things like that. And it can be very uncomfortable. You know, it can just happen out of nowhere. It can happen because you're triggered. It can be happening because the chemicals in your brain are fluctuating in weird, odd ways that you can't control. So, yeah, disorganized behavior and catatony, that sounds like a food. Catatonic behavior. They go together because they're behaviors. Okay, last symptom coming up. So the last symptom of schizophrenia is negative symptoms. So what are negative symptoms? Negative symptoms are normal behaviors that people do that are taken away from them. So your facial expressions are gone. It's just a flat face most of the time. Avolition. So avolition sounds kind of like when you're depressed and you lose motivation, but people with schizophrenia don't necessarily describe it like that, because with depression, you can work your way back to finding motivation. But with schizophrenia, it's like something's gone, that something inside of you has left, and you are not motivated to get up and go to work. You are not motivated to, and I keep using the word motivated, but it's not even motivated. It's just, you can't. As clients have described it, they're just unable to do the task that they would usually do. They can't do it, you know. And there's the opposite of where you feel forced to do things that, you know, you wouldn't usually do, like forced to quit your job, forced to throw away important papers that you need. You know, something inside of you is pushing you to do things that you wouldn't normally do, are pushing you to not do things that you would normally do. And that's what abolition is. So it's described as this force. It's not necessarily a lack of motivation as you would see in a mood disorder or depression or something like that. It's just this force inside. Somebody flipped a switch and you can't get up out of bed. You can't open your door and go outside. You can't brush your teeth in the morning. It's not like, oh, I don't feel like it. I don't even think there's even thoughts like, I don't feel like it. It's just can't. So that is the last symptoms. The last symptom. I'm not good with grammar. Never was. Don't come for me lest I send for you. Some of the treatments for schizophrenia. Well, first and foremost, medication. You know, seeing a psychiatrist. Psychiatrists are medical doctors that also went through the same training to provide mental health therapy as well. But they can also prescribe medication medication to people. I am a psychotherapist, so I just went through mental health training in order to provide therapy to folks. I got my master's in social work, and then I was licensed and became a licensed clinical social worker in order to have my own private practice and give therapy to people. So, psychiatrist, seeing a psychiatrist to possibly get medication. Usually the medications given to schizophrenics are antipsychotics, anti-tremor medications, so on and so forth. Not a doctor, that's just the medications that I've talked to doctors about when it comes to some of my clients. And then different types of therapy in conjunction with medication, group therapy, rehabilitation, Cognitive behavioral therapy can help, building positive skills around how to deal with some of the symptoms you're experiencing. Family support therapy, family systems therapy, to kind of help with how your loved ones will, help you through this so that you're not by yourself, because the worst thing that can happen is being by yourself. And like I said, sometimes it's on a spectrum. Some people just do therapy, and because their symptoms aren't too extreme where they can't ignore them, then they'll go on in life without taking medication. But I always say, at least give it a try. Give a psychiatrist a try. Find the one that works for you, the one that listens to you, and if the first one doesn't, try the next one. But give a doctor a try and see if that might be an option for you, if you feel like you have any symptoms that are similar to what we've been talking about. Because a lot with schizophrenia, it is a lot to do with your brain structures, a lot to do with the chemicals that flow through your brain, a lot to do with biological things that are happening in your mind that need to be worked through with a doctor, pretty much. And then on top of that, you're getting therapy to work with the symptoms that are presenting themselves on the outside. Like, oh, okay, so how do I deal with this symptom? What are some strategies for this symptom? And then a lot of people can live very healthy, happy lives once they cover all the bases, the biological with the psychological. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. I tried to add a little extra special effects and stuff, so tell me what you think. So I have all this time on my hand. I was like, let me learn some skills about making these videos and stuff. So yeah, I hope you're having a great quarantine time. I'm not gonna stop bringing it up. I'm not gonna stop bringing that we're in quarantine. It's a lot. And just recognizing that we're all in this together. Surviving is the name of the game. You don't have to be overly happy. You don't have to be overly excited about what's going on. You just have to find that boat that helps you through the storm. Just find the boat that helps you get through this and get to the other side. So yeah, I hope you're having a great, what is it, Easter Sunday? Yeah, happy Easter, and later days.